Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Green Giant here, and welcome to a bit of FSX. And what we're going to do is, first of all, show you the center so you can see what we're actually doing. Stand by, green, that's on. Happy days. Okay, and we are going to do a bit of VFR, visual flight rules, and we're going to do that around South London area. I noticed we've got Tower on at Gatwick, so I've just cleaning the desk here from my PCB FX yesterday. Got a load of washing soda everywhere and it's crystallised, minging. And we're going to be in the good old Grobchuta. 1-5 Echo. Going some. Well, let's go in some nice fancy colours, shall we? Why not? Excuse me. Beautiful. We're going to come out of Shoreham because I do have Shoreham scenery. Good. Oh, we could do helicopter. No, we'll do a Grob. We'll do Grob. Ramp G8 small, parking 3. That'll do. Pig. That'll do. Fully fueled. Yeah, we got live weather on. Okay, so let's load that up. I'm going to kill some of that nonsense that I don't need. Okay, so let's check the sounds coming through. Yeah, sounds all right. It's a little bit echoey on this mic. This is my new Samsung mic rather than using the webcam. I've got a pop filter on it. Well, a bit of foam, but it's the same thing. Yeah, so let me this to Bookface. So just loading terrain in as we speak. And what I can do is I can show you actually Plan G here. So we're going to spawn up at Shoreham. Make sure we've got all that down. We're going to maybe do a couple of circuits here, a couple of touch and goes. Then we'll fly over to Gatwick. We've got a tail controller on at Gatwick. So we'll probably do a transition across the Gatwick airspace. Maybe do a bit of flying around Biggin. Maybe out to the Dartford crossing. See how it goes, and then probably fly back and maybe another transition of Gatwick. And I should really have my rib sheets of this. Haven't got them. Let me see if I can find them online. So here we are. VFR-RT guide, that's one. Oh, awesome. Transit. Miles south of Western Zone Transit. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's all okay. Smash in. Center screen can come off now then. We've almost finished loading. This scenery's taken a while to load today. So come on. Come on, get on with it. Get on with it. Oh, we probably need to change the title and the stream here. So let's change the aircraft and the flight. and put that up. I spelled good wrong. Oh no, I haven't. Just the resolution's a bit pants. Right, okie dokie. So we need vPilot running. So Bosch, let's click that. Let's connect as call sign Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima. We're a G115. Connect. We're gonna clear our flight plan. Equipment suffix is a very good question. Can't remember what the equipment code is for a Grob. No RVSM. We do have DME, and we do have transponder with mode C, so we are /alpha. Oops, the wrong one. So VFR around around Shoreham and Gatwick. You can send and receive BGKA, BGKA, divert airfield can be, I suppose, probably Goodwood, which is EGHR, Hotel Romeo. Cruise speed is about 120 knots. Oh crap. And we are VFR, final flight plan. We'll get straight over to Unicom, which is 122.8. Click. And then Gatwick Tower is 12422. So we'll. Oh, hang on, that's the nav radio. We have a com too. Oh, yes, here. One, 2, 4, 2, 2. Flip flop. And we'll just listen in on that and make sure we can actually hear stuff. So the battery's on, that's all looking good. We can go full rich, bring the prop down. Ooh, that's nice to see, isn't it? You can see the prop pitch changing. We can go to the red strobe light. Don't really need the instrument lights on. Nav lights are on. Magnetos are on both. Start the engine. Jolly good. Gatwick Tower sounds reasonably quiet at the moment. One guy just taken off. He's probably already handed over. EasyJet A320. 74 just taken off as well. Yeah, Gatwick's reasonably quiet at the moment. So, oops. So that's pretty good. The Gatwick QNH is 1015. That's good. So we know we've got Gatwick on COM1 when we need it. Sorry, COM2 when we need it. So the winds, well, the winds at Gatwick, which isn't necessarily representative, 220 10 knots. So if we have a look at Shoreham, we've got 2.9 here, and we might go off there actually. So that's, oh hello. So let's go for the grass runway then, I guess. If I can actually get the brakes to turn off. We haven't got any other traffic to worry about here at the moment. And the thing to remember, when we get to Gatwick, we need to be below 2,500 feet. That's the important number to remember. So let's see if I can taxi this without flipping it. I'm just going to turn my speakers down a touch. So hopefully that's now not picking up the my speakers in the microphone. No, it doesn't look like it is, or at least not when I'm talking. Not when I'm not talking. And here we go. Just take out the runway light. We don't need that. The flaps can go to stage 1. Strobe light can come on. Fuel pump can come on. Prop can go to max. Mixture's set to rich. We're all good and proper. Power to the masses. Whoa! That's a sensitive rudder. Yikes. Tell you what, flipping heck, something's changed. Let's get it in the air. That sounds like a good idea. Right, trim wheel's working today, which is promising. Just need to move my plan G about, so sorry as the sound cuts out there. There we go. And let's get us nice and trimmed. Already above 80 knots, so flaps can come up. So the Shoreham VOR is 109.95. We'll flick that in. Which actually I think is this one, isn't it? It is, yeah, 1.5 miles. Use the uncoordinated turn. I've just taken the feet off the pedals. Come on, let's do it properly if I'm going to do it. Whoa, and there's the cloud. So we've got a cloud base at 1,500 feet, there or thereabouts. So let's turn downwind. Yeah, cloud's not great, is it, for a VFR? But oh well, we'll do it. So I want to burn my lungs a little. So who is on tower? That'll give me an indication. Nathan Inns. S1, so he must be newly trained, so we'll give him something to do momentarily. Yeah, my controls are really sensitive. So, well, I suppose I'm used to flying that 7.0, aren't I? Been doing it for the past couple of days. So speed can come back. Keep the nose up to let the speed lead. The flaps. Something wrong with my flaps. Bear with me 2 ticks while I just pause live on VATSIM. Control surfaces, flaps, bend incrementally, retract incrementally. No, that's not helped. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh well. Well, let's bring ourselves round. Let's try and get somewhat coordinated here. Not a million miles off. Some worse approaches. A bit low. A bit wide because the wind's coming from that way. Makes sense. So let's get ourselves trimmed. Life a lot easier as we try this crosswind landing on a very narrow strip. And then I think we'll fly straight out and we'll head towards Gatwick. We'll do a transition. For anyone who doesn't do any VFR stuff, you'll see how we request transitions and stuff like that. We're flying across controlled airspace. I'm not feeling overly confident. This is a very narrow strip. It's pretty much going to be wheels down and then nose up. That was not pretty. Okay, let's go north. We'll go slightly off north, head towards the Cross VRP. We overfly monastery or cathedral there at Shoreham. I'm going to fly around this hill rather than through it. Probably a good idea, isn't it? So, let's get the engine sorted down to 2200 RPM. Very sensitive on the mixture today. And let's have our first look outside. That's Andy Priest. Loving the teeth on the engine cowling, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Lovely. And our little grub tutor. So, the Gatwick weather is saying scattered at 2,500. So that's not consistent with our weather here. Yeah, see, we're hitting the cloud here at 1250. So we're going to have to descend down to 1,000 feet. which is not an ideal cruising altitude. Actually, we want to really be at a 500 over. So rather than cruising on the 1,000 feet, we cruise at the like 1,500 or 2,500. It just gives you a bit more separation from IFR traffic. But we'll hit that problem when we get to it. But we've got a good lick on here. We're full throttle. We've got the engine back down to 2,200 RPM. Mixture's looking good. Fuel pump can actually come off now. We don't need that on. Lights are all on and good. Transponder we will set to 7,000 VFR. That's interesting. This is American. So we are looking for the main A road, which will come up on our right hand side, and we'll fly that up past Willow. If you've flown in Gatwick before, you'll know Willow intersection. We'll pass Haywards Heath. In fact, we'll probably go up to Haywards Heath actually. In fact, that's exactly what we'll do. We'll enter the zone at Haywards Heath. It's a little bit easier to find. So we can aim for Burgess Hill, which is just a small village south of Haywards Heath. I'll just use my maps here to help that navigation. I do have a proper, stunking great big map, but don't know where I've put it. And it's a lot easier using Plan G, and achieves the same thing. Not quite as detailed, but certainly not as laggy, but more pilot laggy. I think that was Burgess Hill. We just flew over. Yeah, it is. I wasn't paying attention. I think this is Haywards Heath. So we'll flick over to Tower then. I'm going to do Gatwick Tower, good afternoon. Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, Zagrob 115 tutor, just overhead Haywards Heath, 1,000 feet, QNH 1015, requesting transition south to north, please.
Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha, Gatwick Tower, 50, transit, Gatwick Tourism, set north, follow 26 left, that should start not a roll out to 2,000 feet before that.
Roger, clear for the transition, not above 2,500 feet, Golf Alpha Lima. So we'll follow the road up.
You're 617 right. Presumably navigation was in the column next minute.
So we're clear for the transition, not above 2,500 feet. So that was an interesting transition. He should have given us an exit VRP. but he didn't, so we're just going to go straight over the threshold for 2-6 left. There's a speedy birdie above us somewhere. We see Gatwick off the nose there. Fantastic. There is quite a bit of traffic at Gatwick, 6 departures. Roger, we'll keep an eye out for the traffic. Golf Avelina. I'm not going to see him because the cloud's pretty low. And this guy's already at least 2,000 feet above us. Just try and maintain 1,000 feet if I can. So following the road up into Gatwick, coming up to the town of Crawley at the moment. You can probably get away with climbing a little. We'll go up to 1,500. Just gives us a little bit more. In fact, no, we won't. Yes, we'll go up to 1,500. Can't remember what the circuit height is at Gatwick.
The quick change to your claims. Could you transit south to north at 2,000 feet?
Roger, yeah, we can climb up to 2,000, Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima.
Yeah, traffic information is a drop 115, transit south to north, running 265 to take out services to 20, believe it or not. Roger, we'll keep an eye out the traffic and clear take up 265 feet, Atlantic Tower. Golf Alpha Lima, traffic information to meet 320 departure 265.
Roger, we have the traffic, Golf Alpha Lima. Keep dropping the nose every now and then just so I can keep...
Is it for some reason with you at Howling Point Free?
That's what's our name again, for a whole by off 1 lane up 269.
Right, we're hitting the cloud
Is
base
it
here
for
at
some
1,500.
line up? Only 26 left on the way.
Probably just gonna be alright to 2,000. It's a little bit risky. There's an interesting black square down there. There's Gatwick down there.
I don't want you to this way, thanks so much, Halliburton, the Atlantic Tower. And feel 612 right back with you, Alice, people. 612 right, thanks for your traffic information, is a club 115. Just overhead me north down, Team approach 265 Satisfied, which is the green sunshine. Continue approach 265, the likely traffic. Race course online, Hamilton 25, to drop Satisfied, which is the green sunshine. Next line.
Race course online, Liberty Road 265.
We're breaking a few VFR rules here because we're in the cloud, but because we're in a control zone, I'm not quite so bothered.
There's a front team right, expect that line comes. Expect that line here and see the front team right.
So I'm just following this main road at the moment. This is Red Hill. Oh, and the cloud has cleared a touch. That's good to see.
There's a front team right, running 265, and round top the service, it's easier, green sunshine. No, I'm good, front team right.
It's a bit bumpy though, isn't it?
Oh, for the ones, the higher ATC ones, you can one CC less right.
Over to Unicom, we'll see shortly. Go for
Marshall.
it. Okay, so back to Unicom. And we will head out towards the Dartford Tunnel. So what we're looking for is Biggin Aerodrome. And we are going to descend a bit. We're going to go down to 1,500 feet. So engine T's and P's are looking good, oil's looking good, fuel we got millions. So coming up this sort of Caterham, I think, around here, where the hill, just sort of where the hill is. My knowledge of London isn't great, and I can just see squint mode enabled, as Quill would say, some lights over here, so that might well be Biggin. So we'll do a nice pass of Biggin. We'll stay at 2,000 feet here as well, actually. It's a bit bumpy though, isn't it? Nudge the trim a touch more. Yeah, and I can see the runway. You might not see that on your screen. The runway's just here. So we'll transit over Biggin. There's no air traffic over Biggin, so you don't have to worry about any calls. And there's no aircraft in or out of Biggin at the moment. So. It is rather bumpy though, isn't it? Crikey. No hands. Not me doing all that. Couple of nudges of trim. So yeah, we're a bit bouncy. As Chewie would say, it's a little bit bumpy. Feeling inside, not one of those who can easily hide. Sorry to anyone who's got their speakers turned up for that. All your windows are shattered now. You can pull the cat back in. Don't have much money, but boy, if I no, that's not right. Oh yeah, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. So here's Biggin. Very tall, there he is off the nose. If we follow this a bit further, we should hit the M25. Slight engine pitch change there. Engine sound change, should I say. Just leaned it out a little bit more, a bit higher. And here we go, flying over the first military airfield of the day. I think. Higgins military? Or is it civil? No, it might be civil. Oh, it used to be military. And we can see down there a VOR. Right, point that out again for you. There's the VOR, but it is actually visible on FSX. It's got a bit of static models there. Interesting. Yeah, so there's the VOR, so it's that you tune into when you're flying the Biggin approach into Heathrow. Just having another quick butchers of the map there. Another nudge of Trent. Could go and make myself a coffee actually. That would be good. Well, I risk it. Of course, no autopilot in this thing. It involves me leaving the cockpit hands free. I mean, it's reasonably well trimmed. I'm not just nudging the wings, just because it's we've got this crosswind, so it keeps pushing us left. So that's the M25 down there. You can just see one of the roundabouts. Coming up to the north towards the Dartford crossing, so we'll follow that. We're going to handrail it on the left. I think I am going to go for a risky boil the kettle. See if we can get ourselves reasonably on course first before I do that. Thankfully the kitchen's only 10 metres away. Even that. Right, quick run to the kitchen. Ah, panic! Kettle's on. Are we dead? No, we're good. We're good. Oh, it's pretty decent on height actually as well. Lovely. Panic over. I'll nudge that up a bit, don't I? Well, there we go. That's a bit better. So we're heading towards the Dartford crossing then. It's there. Oh, we have a Pilatus up ahead out of London City. Where's he going? LGKR. Bloody hell, that's a long flight. PC-12 he's in. Just seen flickering up there a few miles away. Still outside controlled airspace. So, don't need to do too much on Unicom. Well, don't need to do anything on Unicom technically. Ooh, nice little golf course down there. As we cross over the M20, that'll be. And we could take a wander out to Southend. Some traffic at Southend. Oh no, it's someone who's already left, so let us cross us yet, or is it still ahead of us? I think it's still ahead of us. That's a Scandinavian, I think. A320 coming into Heathrow from Copenhagen. So we're already at the Dartford crossing from Southend. That's only taken half an hour. Pretty good. Shows how quick you can go in a plane. I mean, we're not actually going that fast. We're doing 127 knots, so that's what, 140-ish something miles an hour. But we're pretty much straight lining it. Well, we've done a dogleg over Gatwick, but the motorways obviously aren't a straight line. And of course, you're only doing 70 miles an hour, technically. So here we go over the Dartford crossing. It is, as you would expect in FSX, not particularly beautifully modelled. We've got a nice container ship down there. Power station. Hear the sound change. There's London City. I'm really sensitive. Sorry if you get a bit seasick from that. Nice looking fence. Interesting cliff edge there. So if we handrail the coastline now, we'll handrail this on the right, we'll break off the M25, should end up at Southend on Sea, and we'll enter for left downwind, we'll do a touch and go at Southend, then we'll fly out across over to St Mary's Marsh, which is sort of, we'll probably see that here actually, and then there's a nice line of sort of power lines that take us roughly back to Biggin, or thereabouts. And then from there we can do a transit back across Gatwick, north to south, and go back to Seaford. Not Seaford, Shoreham. Shoreham we went to. Pick up H. And it would be good actually if we could pick up the Biggin VOR, which is 15.1. Yeah, and we've got the Biggin VOR there. Oh, there's an A330 Virgin Atlantic at Heathrow, taxiing for departure 27 left. Excuse me, burn my lungs a little, and so we should be able to see Southend pretty soon, I'd have thought. I thought it was just north of this sort of power station-y area. So the sky's cleared up massively. It's much nicer over here than it was down at Shoreham. And Gatwick Tower's gone off now, actually. Well, we'll keep an eye. We can't do a transit of Heathrow because we're VFR, and VFR traffic's not allowed in the London TMA traffic manoeuvring area. So we're not allowed to do that unless we switch to IFR. We can do IFR in this aircraft, don't get me wrong, but there's no controller on. Huge amount of point. Where's Southend? Let's say I did think we'd be able to see it from here. Orrington. Oh, is that it? Can I see some red there? I can indeed. That looks like a Shoreham. No, Southend, sorry. This is the marsh on the right hand side. That's the way we'll fly back. We could go back the same way, but nah. We could avoid Gatwick airspace very easily. Flying over sort of Tunbridge Wells and that pattern area. And we might well do that if we don't get a controller on. There's nothing really to be gained. Just a lot of typing in Unicom. But so because we're a little bit closer than I thought we were going to be, I still want to make left downwind, but that means we're going to have to do an overhead join. So that's not the end of the world. There's no traffic here, so really it doesn't actually matter, but we will do it semi-professionally. So we're going to aim left of the right traffic pattern, if that makes sense. So if you've got the circuit left or circuit right, we're going to aim away from a right-hand circuit, and then we'll pretty much turn 90 degrees, overfly the centre of the runway, and then descend down into a short downwind leg, turn base final. We'll do a touch and go at Southend, and that puts us on a straight out course back towards Biggin. And we'll just use the nav radio for very basic point at Biggin feature rather than trying to do a radio. In fact, yeah, we will. We'll pretty much straight line it to Biggin. 1,000 feet here. So let's start thinking about landing. So fuel pump can come on. We'll put joystick cam on as well. Apparently isn't working. There we go. There's joystick cam. Feet can go on the pedals. Looks like a good pilot they were anyway. Not. Can get a quick bit of lung burning. Or the kettle should have boiled as well. We'll turn roughly parallel with the runway here. We could do a right downwind, but let's do an overhead join since I've talked about it now. Staying above circuit height. Again, not that it matters because there aren't any other aircraft in the circuit. But a nice gentle right turn, a little early. And we'll bring the speed back now because we're gunning it a bit too much. Engine RPM can go up to the max, and we can go full rich as well. And start a shallow descent. to knock the brakes off. There we go. I want to fly. I'm aiming for the middle of the runway here. There or thereabouts. Doesn't really matter if we're slightly upwind, but don't really want to be too much downwind. And we'll drop down into circuit height now, because we're well within inside the right-hand circuit. Just a quick wind drop to see where we are. Problems of low wing. Wouldn't have that problem in a Cessna 152. Clear that. Oops, didn't want to do that. Close window. And we can go for one stage of flap. Oops, let's press that. And then gradually start our descent. Bring it round into base. Too much rudder on there. We can go to landing flap. Slows the aircraft down massively. About 70 knots, and I've started the final turn far too early there, so let's shallow that out a bit. And here we are turning onto final at Southend, and then we'll make straight out back across the Thames estuary. And hopefully, oh, we've got a Gatwick radar on, so we will do a transit. Hi Storm, thanks for the sub, mate. We're a little bit quick actually. Probably won't be doing 65 knots on final, but oh well. So there we are down. Flaps can come up a notch. Trim can go back to takeoff. And then we can go full power. Oh. That really doesn't take off like the real thing. Wow. Mind you, it's a good few years since I've flown this reel, but certainly doesn't jump off the ground with that much surface friction. So just smashing the trim wheel there, get ourselves up into a nice climb. Miss. I'm bad, but I'm not that bad, eh? Well, I'm going to be really bad in a minute, so I'm going to go make a coffee whilst we're on our climb out. But not before I put the flaps up. And we're in a reasonable stable climb here. No, we're not. So just put flaps up so the speed shot up. So let's get ourselves in a stable climb. Am I happy with that? Happy enough to make a brew. I'll literally be 10 seconds. Easy as that. We're not dead, so that's always a bonus, isn't it? I mean, I am a missing. Oh, you're a Oh, sorry. Oh, hello, my lady. I do apologise. I assumed your gender. Aye. Oh, thank you very much for your sub. Nonetheless, you do flight simming yourself? You're a fellow nerd? Oh, crap. Oh, hang on, I've not clicked the right button in OBS. There we go. Just going to fill up my lung burner. All tip oil everywhere. That's, yeah. Whoops. Ah, you are. Go on then. So, what's your favourite aircraft? Do you fly in VATSIM? Tell us a bit about yourself. We just smashed through 2,500, 2,400. I need to be below 2.5 to stay outside controlled airspace. So I'm going to bring the engine RPM back now. I should have done that quite a while ago. I'm going to bring the mixture back to about 30 on there. So there we are. We'll descend back down to 2,000 and then we'll... Oh, you like the Learjet, the default one? Yeah, if you're new to it, and if you do have a few pennies to spend, I certainly recommend the Aerosoft Airbus. It's as close as you can get to study level without it being study level. I mean, the hardcore nerds will tell you to get the FS Labs A320. It is a much more accurate aircraft, but it's for a newbie, the Aerosoft one is great, and you can get a package where you get the A318, 19, 20 and 21, and it's still less than the FS Labs A20, so if cost is a concern, I recommend that one. I do love the Airbus. If you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge and like the classics, you'll see the last video I did is the Captain Sim Boeing 707 300 series. That's certainly a challenge with no GPS, and similarly their 747-200, so predates flight computers and GPS and stuff. That's a similar challenge. Hello, Multigamer. How's it going? Yeah, there's quite a few sort of decent aircraft on there. Do you want more suggestions and things, then please do ask. There's loads you can buy on Steam. They're more aesthetic aircraft, I would say. So they look pretty, but they're nothing like flying the thing in real life. Which might be appealing, might not. Each individual's different. This is Iris Simulations, Grob 115E, this one is, but it does come with the D as well. The only difference between the E and the D is the E variant has a variable pitch propeller. So I've flown the D variant of this solo. I've flown the E as well, but you can't fly that solo because it's got a variable pitch prop. No, it's not, it's a Grob. Grob Tutor. It's what the RAF use as their sort of very first trainer. Air Cadets use it as well. This is actually in an aerobatic display team livery. So, right, okay, so we've passed the marsh now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the OBS until the line lines up, and that is now a straight line to Biggin Hill, which we're going to fly pretty much straight at. We've got a Jersey coming in behind us. There he is, Crash 8. That's a lovely plane as well, Storm. It makes it. What it is? I can't remember. Majestic, that's it. Majestic Dash 8. Like, that is a challenge to fly. Once you get the hang of it, it's alright, but it's not very forgiving. You do one thing wrong and the thing flipping drops out of the sky. There's a cracking video of Matt Davies, very big flight sim streamer. Forget what his Bellins, that's it, Bellins is his name. Where he accidentally kills the engines mid-flight. Flying with one of the BA Virtual guys, one of my friends. Can you use a learner? A Learjet later? Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll give a Learjet a go. I don't think I've ever actually flown one. But yeah, well. So what we're doing now then? We've got London City just off to our right. That's where the that Crash 8 was going into. That's just up over here, I think. You see it? Don't know where he went. So we're going to fly back towards the Biggin VOR. From there, we'll just go west a little bit more and then transit over the Gatwick control zone again, and then fly on south back down to Shoreham. We'll land at Shoreham, and then yeah, we can probably jump in a Learjet at Shoreham then. Actually, give that a go. Now, some of them are tricky. As I say, the Aerosoft Airbus series is so easy to learn. It's what I learned on when I first started flight simming. Not got a huge amount of experience, but you know, not too bad. And it's great because you can just plug everything into the flight computer. So that's really, really easy to do. And pretty much from wheels up, it'll take you through the entire flight until the wheels hit the ground, and it'll even brake for you, and then you just need to taxi. So you can do that and then gradually take less load off the computer, do more yourself, and then that's you learning then, isn't it? Until you hit the point where you can pretty much fly the Airbus by hand. I mean, the Airbus is so easy to fly compared to a Boeing. Well, you know, except for the Dreamliner, because it's got auto trim on it. And trimming the aircraft is just the first thing you need to learn how to do. So the fact that I can go and make a brew, if you can't go and walk away from the stick, unless you've got a really windy day, you can't walk away from the stick for about 30 seconds to a minute when the aircraft's not trimmed, and you're just making your life difficult. So learn how to trim it, get it set up as a couple of buttons on the stick. For some reason, please notice my webcam's decided that it's not going to play ball. Hang on a minute, I've got a power issue on my USB bus. There we go. Let's see my ugly mug again. How long till land? Probably going to be about 30 minutes, something like that. But we're probably only 10 minutes away from the Gatwick control zone, so we'll be flicking over to Gatwick's frequency. There are quite a lot of aircraft. There's 8 departures. There's looks like 3 or 4 inbound at the moment. So that's going to be busy airspace. So we might have to hold. That's something you expect to do when you're doing a transit. So basically you orbit, you fly a tight circle until you're given clearance to do what you want to do. I've just realised my navigation is utterly terrible. And let's get this back on. So we keyed in the Biggin Hill VOR. I then turned the omni-bearing selector, the OBS, so that the line was vertical. So that then draws, effectively on the ground, a straight line from where I was when I keyed it in to the VOR. Now, because this line's moved over to the left, it means that that straight line we drew is off to the left of me, so it means I've drifted to the right. So I need to aim left a little bit so I can intersect this line we've drawn on the ground, which will stay on the ground even though we're moving around it. And that's what we call a radial. Effectively, it's a compass bearing where you draw a compass bearing on a map. and then you can go and walk wherever you want, but that line stays in the same place on the map. And that's effectively what we're doing here. And because I wasn't paying attention, we drifted miles off to the right. Doesn't matter, I could just reset this now and then draw a new straight line straight to begin. But it's a nav aid, we'll use it. So my ability to hold 2,000 feet, that's pretty pathetic at the moment. So you might recognise this from the outbound, so we're just following the M25 down here at the moment. So that's, you know, you use visual reference points more than the instruments. I don't really look at the instruments too much unless I have to. That's the beauty of visual flight rules. Oh, you can see the wind really kicking us about here. See, I'm hands off at the moment, catching my leg. France beat Oz 2-1, did they? Not seen any of the World Cup yet. I am looking forward to Wales, Australia in the rugby later. Is Australia we're playing? Say we, I'm half Welsh. Got fuzzy hair. What do you call a Welshman with 20 girlfriends? What do you call a Welshman with 20 girlfriends? So we can see the radials come in now, so we've now gone over the straight line. A shepherd! A shepherd, oh dear, I'm going to get in trouble. What's a Welshman called a field full of sheep? What's a Welshman called a field full of sheep? A leisure centre. Oh, I've got loads of them. So we can see some puppy lights down there. That will be Biggin Hill. That's where we're navigating to. We saw the VOR on the way out. And what will happen? What will happen when we overfly the VOR is we won't pick up the signal because we're directly above it, and the signal goes out sideways. So the little red flag that says nav will pop up here, and that will tell us that we don't have signal. And that will happen when we're right above it. And the direction indicator, which is this white arrow here, currently says we're going towards the nav aid. And when we get past it, when we pick the signal up, when we're past it, it will be behind, so it will be pointing backwards or down the way. That says we're going away from the navigation aid. I don't see many simmers doing much radio nav stuff. It's all flight computer things. So radio nav's obviously more important. You can't rely on GPS. Legally, you're not allowed to rely upon GPS actually. Obviously on flight sim it's different, but yeah, radio nav's really important, and particularly in the classics that I love flying, 7.0, the 7.4. They don't have a GPS, so tough. This doesn't really have a GPS. It does, but it's just your lat and long. And yeah. The real aircraft does have a very basic GPS there, but it's not very pictorial. It just sort of shows where you are and a couple of crosses for interesting points. It's not like a fully functional GPS where it shows you airways and all the different airfields and visual reference points and things like that. It doesn't do any of that. So we can see this vertical line here is getting a lot more sensitive. That's because we're a lot closer in. And we can actually see the VOR, the actual radio beacon, is there. So that is the actual beacon that we're keyed into at the moment. So we're overflying that line on the map. In theory, if we fly straight at this beacon, we'll overfly it on the radio. Obviously, we could be above clouds, so you might not see that. And, you know, if it was a different flight, I would expect fairly soon we're going to lose signal to that. 0.8 miles away on the DME, the distance measuring equipment. See, that line's getting really sensitive. I'm going to try and overfly it pretty much dead. The frame rate stutter there. And there it goes, and there's the flag. So we've now lost signal to that, and we've picked it up again, and the white arrow is at the bottom saying it's currently behind us. But we're not going to use that nav aid anymore. We don't need it. So we're going to flick back over to the Shoreham VOR, which is currently 31 miles away. So at this speed, it's only going to take sort of 15 minutes to get there. We're not flying dead straight at the moment because we're flying towards Redhill, junction 7 of the M25, and we'll be contacting Gatwick Radar, or Gatwick Dictator. Yes, it's the Gatwick Dictator. Who is it? Usama Ahmad, hope I pronounced that right, sir. For a transit. So actually, let's get the ATIS up. QNH is 1014. Let's key that in. And let's flick over to COM2, which we've got currently keyed into the wrong frequency. 12682. 12682. Ping pong. There we go.
Welcome to Gatwick Cross from Azure Atlantic. Taxi right onto Juliet to span 144. Cross runway 08 left, taxi onto Juliet and 144, Thompson 4651.
Gatwick Director, Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima with request.
Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, Gatwick Director, good afternoon, pass message.
Good afternoon, sir. We're at Grub 115, currently 3 miles northeast of Redhill, 2,000 feet, and QNH 1014, requesting transit north to south, please.
Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, good day, I'll be back very short. Be ready to 2766, turn left heading 345.
Let's say 345.
Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, if you enter the Gatwick control zone from the north nautical altitude, 2,000 feet, VFR, Gatwick QNH 1014, and squawk 6467.
Clear to enter the zone not above 2,000 feet VFR, QNH 1014, and 6467 in the box for Charlie, Charlie Alpha Oscar Lima.
Golf Lima correct, range speed of 2766, and altitude 3,000 feet, turn left heading 2905.
So we're clear to transit the zone, not above 2,000 feet VFR.
2250, record your passing on.
So there's EGKA,
Studio 2250, report your passing on.
which is Redhill Airfield.
Studio 2250, thanks. You can climb out flight level 150.
So we're clear to enter the zone, but we've not been cleared to transit yet. We're currently about a mile and a half.
276 is on the heading, clear fire as well.
2 miles sort of north of the zone. The zone starts pretty much at Red Hill, which is, I'm pointing on the screen, aren't I, anymore, which is there. So when we cross that, we enter the zone, and we are clear to enter the zone, which is good. And it's busy.
German Cargo 831, Gatwick Director, good afternoon.
So 8 departures, 2 landings.
26 left here, clear off, 210 degrees, 1 mile.
There's one on approach as well. BBird 2766. Oh, Dan Parkin, it's the boss of BA Virtual. Coming in from Ibiza in an Airbus A319. Lovely.
Okay, 2426, push and slide through, face west.
Yeah, so that's my boss of Rich Airways Virtual.
Using easy citate, roll factors,
So there's the airfield over the nose. We're about to enter the zone,
106 and 553.
but we've not been given clearance to transit, so we can
get
pretty close.
Stand off the back very shortly, break off Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, entry control SSR, radar control.
Roger, radar control, Golf Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima. So, very good, excellent air traffic control here. The radar control means that he's now responsible. Roger, right hand orbit until advised, Golf Alpha Lima. So here's the orbit we talked about. So I'm just going to maintain it at 2,000 feet.
It's a VFR to the north.
He doesn't know too many.
It's 210 degrees, 1 mile.
That's done.
German Cargo 831, report to crossing altitude.
I'm just going to descend a bit just because we're breaking through that 2,000 feet.
German Cargo 831, Roger, you can climb off at 130.
I'm just going to bring the throttle back a bit. We don't need to orbit quite so quick.
Easy 68 Golf Foxtrot, information Bravo, clear to Budapest, at Mach 2 X-ray departure, squawk 0537.
There's the orbit above Red Hill, more or less.
Information Bravo, information Bravo corrected. 10537,
Enjoying a bit of air traffic control there then? Orbit is really annoying, it's slow, it's dull, but it's something you've got to do.
It's quite
hard orbiting at a set height when you're not in the aircraft. When you're physically in it, it's a lot easier because you can feel your lift and your sink. But when you're doing it visually, it's very hard. The third orbit, I think, is it? I thought, because we're not very quick, you would let us transit now.
I was Director William 10315, stand 2K 8320, Mission Bravo, 003.
That's good, isn't it? It's free, anyone can come on. You can train to be a controller as well, so
All stations on the ground, Gatwick, you require clearance, taxi or pushback instruction, please contact ground 121 escalate.
train controllers just come on. Good. There's workload, which means we might get our transit a little bit sooner. The wind seems to have died down a touch as well, which is good. Well, speed's come back quite nicely now, so we're not orbiting, pulling stupid G and burning shit ton of fuel, excuse my language.
Both Alpha Lima Roman Council, clear traffic north to south, routing to east of threshold runway 26 left, at altitude 2000 feet VFR, report when overhead.
Roger, clear to transit just east of the threshold for 26 left, 2,000 feet, and we'll report overhead, Golf Alpha Lima. Excellent. So, if you're new to ATC, that might have sounded like a bit of a mouthful. It was.
Alpha Lima, apologies, go ahead, you can actually report when you are crossing the 26 left threshold.
Roger, we'll report crossing the threshold, Golf Alpha Lima. But I knew what he was going to say. So I knew he was going to say clear to transit, so I know that. I knew he was going to probably say over the threshold, so that's the piano keys at the start of the runway for 26 left, because that's the runway they're using. So that's the far runway down here. I was expecting him to say 2,000 feet. And report overhead. Yeah, fine, whatever, that's fine. He'll see that on his radar. Do I fly roller? No, not anymore. I used to fly in the Air Cadets. I did fly glider and one of these without the variable pitch propeller solo. So that was, I mean, when I was sort of 16, 17 years old. I'm 30 now, so no, don't fly in real life anymore, I'm afraid. I'd love to, but I can't afford it. So if I just drop the nose, then we can see the thresholds literally bang on the spinner for the nose.
Spare 2766, Mountain traffic, cross runway 0 at left, taxi right on Juliet, and ground 121 past Malay. Good afternoon.
Oh, the wind.
Juliet 121 past Malay, speed 2766, thanks so much.
That's done. I'm going to clear that, because that's bugging the life out of me. It is. You're a glorified taxi driver, ultimately. But yeah, it is. It is. The freedom is just amazing. I remember when I did my solo in a glider, which I did before powered aircraft. And I did both of those before I even had my first driving test, which was quite cool. I was going up the launch, so it's like a catapult launch, winch launch for the glider, and I was singing at the top of my voice, Original Prankster. It was just amazing. And Golf Alpha Lima is above the threshold, 26 left.
Golf Alpha Lima, thank you. Great to leave the temporary control zone to the south, nautical altitude 2,000 feet VFR.
Let's leave the zone by the south, not above 2,000, Golf Alpha Lima. Thank you very much. So we'll head towards Handcross. Pretty much on the nose, and then straight down towards Shoreham. So we're on, what was the Shoreham VOR frequency? 10995. Which we're on.
26, Bravo 1, line of 26 left.
Bravo 1, line of 26 left, Roger 646.
For some reason, why are we not picking that up? For some reason, we're not picking that up. I'm not quite sure why. 1995.
That's altitude for 26, traffic information is VFR, routing to the south of the field at altitude 2,000 feet. Runway 26 left, cleared for takeoff, surface winds 210 degrees at 11 knots.
10995. So the the departing traffic have to be aware of us, because they'll be taking off, and a lot of the routes out of Gatwick, they take off and they turn a hard right to avoid overflying this village here. So we won't be in the way of them, but they need to know we're there, because there are a couple that go south, I think, but they are over sort of Southampton way. I think the majority go off north, breaking our altitude restriction here. So we can see the sea straight in front of us, and that's pretty much straight in front of us is Shoreham.
Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, you will be leaving the control airspace in 4 miles. What service do you require outside of control airspace?
Roger, yeah, thank you very much for your services. We'll see you soon, Golf Alpha Lima.
Golf Alpha Lima negative, I was just asking what service do you require outside of the controlled airspace?
Oh, my apologies. We can go to basic service, please, Golf Alpha Lima.
Golf Alpha Lima, Roger.
Sorry, I misheard him. Right, so we're leaving the zone, but we're still in his controlled airspace because he's an area controller. So we can ask for different services. So we can ask for a basic service, which is basically where we just stay on frequency, and he lets us know of anything exciting. We can have a traffic service where he is then responsible for separation, so making sure that we don't hit someone. At the moment, because I've got a basic service, I'm responsible for making sure I don't hit someone, whereas on a radar service or a traffic service, he's more responsible. Well, a radar service, he's responsible. Traffic is where we'll get traffic updates. And he'll tell us if anything is coming towards us or in our vicinity. Basic service, pretty much he doesn't do anything unless there's going to be a conflict, and then he'll tell us. The basic service, we're just staying on his frequency. That makes sense. I could have asked for a full radar service, but he's busy at the moment. We don't need it. We've got good visibility. So we've got an EasyJet behind us. But he's well away from us at the moment. And we're pretty much going to make straight into Shoreham and land straight in on the tarmac runway. Forget what heading it is. Is it 200? No, it can't. Yeah, 200 or 21 or 19, somewhere around there.
Go Charlie Oscar Alpha Lima, leaving control airspace now, basic service QNH 1014.
Roger, thank you very much. QNH 1014. See you soon, Alpha Lima.
Get to direct, cleaning again. Easy 68 to Oxford on holding point around the 26 left via Alpha 1.
Easy 68 Golf Foxtrot, hello there, David Flight Set, take off, runway 26 winds to 130 degrees, 11 knot.
Going to send him a...
Runway 26 left, we're for takeoff, Easy 68 Golf Foxtrot.
Yeah, just sending him a private message saying thank you, because that really was absolutely textbook air traffic control. It was stunning, really good. And therefore thoroughly enjoyable. Many thanks. Good on him. Cool, right, okay, back over to Unicom then. We'll clear that off. Yeah, a little thank you does go a long way, particularly when it's hard earned and deserved. It was very busy there. He would have been well within his right to refuse us entry into the zone and say, no, you've got to fly around because of traffic load. He would have been well within his right to do that. I've had it before at Gatwick with lower workloads than that on the air traffic controller. I must say I've not seen him online before, but I've not flown on for a few months, but he's that really was excellent. EGD. What's that? EGGD can approach. Oh, EG. GD, that's Bristol, isn't it? There's Shoreham, we can see it on the nose, just left of. So we're going to tank it into here, and then we've had a few requests for a Learjet. We'll give that a blast. I've got Paris control on as well. Still enjoying it, Storm? Not bored? And what we might do actually is relocate up to East Mids in the Learjet. You fancy it? Bit of change of scenery? I haven't got proper scenery, I don't think, for East Mids, but it's reasonable with the Orbeck scenery that I've got installed. I've only got a default Learjet though, unfortunately, but I'll have to do. So we can start thinking about landing then. So feet on pedals. Oh, thank you. There's another litre of coffee gone. Flipping heck, I'm going to be tripping. We'll get joystick cam on, shall we? And clickety click. And joystick cam's not working. I definitely think something's up. I think it's the power. Yeah, because now I've knocked that out, knocked out the webcam. I'm just going to orbit here while I see if I can fix this. There we go, that seems to have done it. Right, okay. Engine back. RPM can go to max, mixture can go to max. Fuel pump is on, landing lights are on. Black one. Probably a bit premature actually. We've got an Iberia overhead us. Oh, it's Matt Smith, it's Chewy! Hey, up Chewy! Hang on. IBK, what is he, 2426? There he is. Norwegian. It's Chewy, yay! Excellent YouTube flight sim streamer. Certainly has been my inspiration. Or maybe it's not Chewy. No, Chewy's Matt Smith, that's Matthew Smith, so maybe it isn't. So yeah, excuse the mess on the desk over here, I've been making my circuit boards. Look, hold it to the right thing. That didn't work, obviously. I'm going to give that another go. Right, let's get myself trimmed. We're down at circuit height now, straight in for runway 21, 20, something like that. Coffee's made me a bit wham. So we can go flat 2. So that's how used to the Airbus I am. I call it flat 1 and flat 2. That's landing flap. Flap 2. Anyway, you know what I mean. And then we'll park over at the GA area, which is over here. $70 knots in, that's alright. Really want 65, but 70 will do. Bit low. So we're controlling our height with throttle, and we're controlling our speed with pitch. what we do on approach. It's slightly different from normal flying. And over the keys, the engine can come down, keep the nose on the horizon, kick a rudder to straighten the aircraft down from the crosswind, and down we go. Flaps can go up. Oh, I need my feet on the pedals to steer, don't I? Come on, Simon, you know this. Lean the engine for taxi. And welcome back to Shoreham. The windsocket's horizontal. Thank you very much, that was actually one of my better landings, I've got to say. Very easy to slam this into the ground because the nose is so big you can't see the ground coming. In real life it's easy because your peripheral vision you can see out the window, but it's a lot harder in the sim. I haven't got a wraparound screen. I have 3 screens, but I only have the sim on the centre one, and then I have the stream up on the left and maps and air traffic and stuff on the right. So we're off the runway now, so strobes can go to red, pitot heat can come off, fuel pump can come off. Can open the cockpit, get some air, get some nice fresh air in. Look at that. How stunning is that? Seeing all the dials in there as well. Alright, I need a 4K screen really to appreciate it fully, but that is beautiful. I hope you can see that. I mean, YouTube probably compresses it and everything, so you might not see that, but yeah, stunning. It's gorgeous scenery down here at Shoreham as well. I think this is Orbex Shoreham. Great one. If you like doing VFR, it's great because Gatwick is so close to Shoreham, and it's the busiest airport on VATSIM after Heathrow, pretty much in the UK at least. Anyway, so it means you've always got, you know, you can stay at Shoreham and you'll just see the odd plane fly by, or you can go up to Gatwick. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes to fly to Gatwick and do some air traffic control practice and talking to them like we've just done there. Right, now finally you get to see my horrendous ability of parking. And try and do this without knocking one of these planes. Little Piper Warrior or something there. Fine. Oh, come on, keep going. Sticky rudder pedals. And I'll take that. So, instrument lights were off, nav lights off, landing lights off, avionics master off. I'm not going to do a full rundown. Mixture to cut off, magnetos off, Jenny and battery off. And there we are. Back down at the lovely Shoreham. I tell you what, that's the best parking I've ever done in my life. Wowzers. Yeah, I'll take that. Nice. Alright, so that was a bit of VFR then with some ATC. Shall we head on over to East Midlands and do what I'm going to do first of all. I'm going to come offline. And then let's go to a small gate here. So we'll just load this up. Appreciate you can't see that, but it's just a loading bar. And interestingly, the latest sub thing hasn't worked. That. Green need that running. Aha, there we go. Hey, Storm, you're up there now. Sorry, I didn't. That I thought I'd fix. I will fix that offline later on. That should have auto updated. But there you are, Storm. Come on. Come on, come on. No one can see me cry. That sugar cane that tasted good. Alright. 70%, nearly there. And then we'll fire up a Learjet. Pretty sure the Learjet's in default, isn't it? Learjet 45, I think. And we'll do a bit of flying up there. So cool. Yeah, brilliant. Cheers. So we'll fly offline for this, just because flying a jet. Oh. Next door neighbour's just woken up. So we'll do a little bit here. We'll flick over then. Hopefully the sim won't crash. It doesn't like changing aircraft after a long flight. You can get what's called an out of memory error, but in FSX it's not so bad in P3DV4 because it's 64-bit. But come on. So right, Learjet. One. I know the alphabet. Okay. Hang on, why is the Learjet? DRJ. Deleted it by mistake. Oh, don't tell me I've bummed this up. Oh no, Learjet Bombardier, of course it is. Oh, anniversary edition. Yes, I was looking under L rather than B. Oh, there we go. Right, okay. So let me just set up my views first of all. So bear with me 2 ticks. Save new preset. Cockpit. Tick. And then assign a button. Tick. There we are. So now if I look around, yeah, I can go back to there. Champion. Right, I'm guessing now. The best one. So we don't have an overhead, right? That should make things a bit easier. Gosh, you're going to know how this works more than I do. So, first of all, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. We've got the parking brake on. Ignition is on. Fuel crossfeed we don't need. Engine sync we apparently don't need. Starters. So it probably sounds like a good idea to start the engine. And we've got an N1. Excellent. So while that's firing up, what we'll do is I'll set the nav1 radio to the ILS at East Mids. We'll fire on engine 2. Nav lights, recognition, beacon strobe. Weird. On, but it didn't move. Landing lights can come on. Those don't work. None of these work. No, that works. Have we got a yaw damper? That might be useful. Wind mode's on, fully engaged at the moment. We'll turn the Jennies on. Oh, and the battery should be on anyway. I don't think we have got a yaw damper. Oh, we do have a yaw damper. Yaw damper can come on. NDB, East Midlands NDB is 353.5. Oh crap. 353.5. And we'll put that on. Oh, I'll put, yeah. Yeah, so that works. Happy days. So let's have a quick look-see outside. So we're all fired up. And let's push. Here comes the tow truck. Brakes off. Right, and as we're going back then, we'll put our flaps, whatever the first setting is, that sounds reasonable. That's all on, there's nothing on the overhead, nothing I've missed on the side. Starter can come off, ignition stays on. Yeah, looking pretty nifty. It is, isn't it? I can't believe I've not flown this before. I don't fly the default aircraft, bar the Cessna 152 every now and then, but pretty much fly the Grob now, I much prefer it. Samet, it's probably better than mine, mate. Go for it. We'll stop the push there. I'll hold it on the brakes. Wait for the tow truck to go away. Shall we go online? Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's do it. Hang on, I need to know. Learjet 5 LJ45. So LJ45. We'll use the same call sign as before. And our equipment code is going to be RVS. It's going to be L. Send and receive, file flight plan. Excellent. What can you recommend to buy for FSX or X-Plane 11? So I haven't got X-Plane 11, I've got X-Plane 10. Excellent bit of kit. Oh, we're on 122.8 already. So it very much depends what you want to fly. If you want to do some airliner stuff, I was just recommending earlier to Storm, the Aerosoft Airbus is fantastic, dead easy to use. It's reasonably study level, not as in-depth as the FS Labs A320, but cheaper, a bit easier to use, and you get 4 aircraft. You get the 18, 19, 20 and the A321. So yeah, the Aerosoft's great, good introduction to flight computers and autopilots and stuff like that, and you'll just fly it every day. It's really, really enjoyable. Big leap up from the default aircraft on FSX, so you know, it's good to not go to something that costs 60 quid and is too much of a leap to learn in terms of learning curve and whatnot. So that's good. If you like classic aircraft and are up for a bit more of a challenge, then the Captain Sim 707 is pretty good. That's on sale at the moment, although it's a bit dear. It's about 35-40 quid, I think, English, but it is on sale. It's normally about $70, I think, US. Whatever that works out as. I got it on sale, but like a couple of years ago. I don't think I paid that much for it, but yeah, and the Boeing 747-200, so the old school, that's pretty good. And then you've got the newer airlines, so you've got the Quality Wing 787. That's really nice. Now they've fixed all the bugs in it. That flies beautifully. Bit expensive. You've got the Queen of the Skies, which is the 747-400, 800, something like that. I haven't got that one. the Majestic Dash 8, twin turboprop, high wing, lovely aircraft to fly, not very forgiving, big challenge, but the basics it does pretty well actually, and it's very, very challenging all the way through to experienced flyers. Probably not novice aircraft though. Gosh, what else have we got? Black Grob Tutor I've just been flying, if you rewind the stream, by Iris Simulations. That is excellent for little VFR stuff. I cannot recommend that highly enough. It's not study level, but it's reasonably good, particularly when it's airborne, it's reasonably accurate. Next question, is it horrible to play if you don't have this plane controller? How do you mean? A joystick? Yeah, I wouldn't bother. Without a joystick, it's pretty much unflyable. You can maybe get away with doing some light aircraft stuff with, you know, WASD, but I wouldn't bother. You can pick up a cheap joystick for peanuts off eBay and Amazon and the like. You know, if you think you're going to get into it as a decent hobby, then pay a little bit more. This is the Cytec X52 Pro. I've had a few joysticks in my time, and this one's just excellent. I've got it screwed down to the desk. There are screw holes. Used a screwdriver and just slammed it straight through. So this is a good one. If your money bags, get the Thrustmaster Warthog, but that's like 400 quid's worth of joystick. This isn't. This is under £100. But then you can get a really cheap one for much less than this. If you can, get one that is what's called a HOTAS, which is hand on throttle, hand on stick. So it's a separate throttle and stick. If you can. If you can't afford that, then obviously you can't afford it. But certainly get one with like a little throttle twiddly thing. It'll save you a lot of pain, because controlling throttle with a keyboard is just mental. And it's just far too. Although arguably with the Aerosoft, maybe you don't need the throttle so much because it's got an auto throttle, but you still need to be able to move it to the right position for the auto throttle to kick in. But yeah, I mean, you know, is this enough? What is in this one I'm using now? Oh god, yeah. This will do everything. You probably can just see it here. It's even got things like, I've got the COM1 and NAV1, so the radio frequencies on here, but I don't use it. You've got the Thrustmaster and it works good. Which one have you got? I've got Thrustmaster rudder pedals actually, and they're excellent. I only got these a few months ago. Not had pedals before. Okay, right then. So, thrust to takeoff. No idea what the V speeds are on this. Find out. Thrustmaster USB joystick. Yeah, well, there we go. Not do. Thrustmaster are pretty good. They make robust products. Gosh, I'm full rudder here. Wow, I'm full rudder. This is very crosswindy. So positive rate gear up. Wow, look at that crosswind. And here we are then, out of Nottingham East Midlands. I'll just pull up my air traffic control, seems we are actually online. We'll swing it. Wow, that has got a hell of a roll rate. I wasn't expecting it to quite do that. So in a light and massively overpowered little jet like this, we've got to be careful that we don't go too fast. Speed restriction in the UK below flight level 100 is 250 knots. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And we have got a low cloud base here, so I'm going to have to stay below that because I've said we're VFR. So bring that throttle back a little bit more. So we're now crosswind. Jesus. There's the A50, so I'm going to turn downwind now. So Nottingham East Mids I know quite well. I know the visual reference points, which are really important when you're flying circuits. And it's an east-west runway, which makes it really easy to navigate if you do lose sight of things. So here's more or less due eastbound, heading towards Ratcliffe Power Station. Let's see what, this thing's nippy, isn't it? Just see down there the town of, hang on, Kegworth. Just see there the town of Loughborough. That's where I live, yay, that's where I am. The mighty Loughborough. So, what I need to do is key in our course. Which is easier said than done, because I have no idea where that is. I guess it's probably up here. Course. There we are. East Mids, is it 27? Let's go with 27. So we've got the NDB, East Midlands East, keyed in, and we can see this dial swinging round now. Not a problem at all, mate, not a problem at all. I hope you found it useful, and feel free to pop back and ask any questions you like. This thing just doesn't want to go slow, does it? I'm almost idle. So we're almost passing East Midlands East. Lovely and smooth though. A bit low actually. Now we are passing East Midlands East, so I will turn base. Feet back on pedals, I'm going to need that. And throttle can come back to idle. We're turning south. I have keyed in the ILS, so that's what we're on the nav1. Coming up on the south. Visibility is not great. There's south. There's the runway. I can go with a bit of flat. Not that much flat though. Oh my gosh. That much flat. I don't think I have keyed in the right ILS frequency. $10935. How'd you change that then? No, oh well. Old-fashioned way. So gear down. Do flaps to there. Get the aircraft a little bit more trimmed. Good up, gear down. Where's the gear not coming down? Oh, there he goes. Not the best approach I've ever done, but here we are. We're a bit fast, really. Oh, well, maybe not. Oh, it really doesn't like slowing down, this thing, though. I hope the brakes are good. So just get a bit of trim going. We're doing touch and go. Massive oscillation here. I'm going to kill the throttle early because I think we're a bit quick. But I don't know, I've never flown this before and I don't know what my speeds are. Pretty well on the touchdown zone. And I'm going to get the nose up quick because full rudder wasn't quite cutting it there. Gear up, flaps up. One press is going up 2 numbers, which is weird. Let's see if I can make a slightly better job of that this time. If you're on VATSPY, you will see me at Nottingham East Midlands. Let's turn crosswind. Nice gentle turn this time so I don't spill my G&T. I don't think I've ever flown the Learjet actually. First time. Thank you very much though. And I'm looking for the Ashton roundabout on the A50. There it is. We'll keep the turn going then. Trying to maintain around about 1700 feet. Gut feeling, I can't remember what the circuit height is at East Mids, but that'll do. And there's Ratcliffe. And we're pretty much going to aim for the right hand edge of that. Can't remember whether they use right or left edge of Ratcliffe. I think they might use left edge actually when they're doing Ryanair do circuit training here in the 7.3. Excuse me, filthy habit, don't do it. So we're looking for that, the NDB to swing round again. So, what's the ILS frequency? 935. Ah, there we go. Right, so the ILS is keyed in now. And as you can see here, we've got the left-right thing like we did before, the localizer. And we also have this little green arrow. That's your glide slope indicator. And ideally you want that to be in the centre, so on this line here, and that tells you you're on the perfect glide slope, which here at East Mids is 3 degrees, but we're downwind at the moment, so we can ignore that. So at the moment, we are below the glide slope. The glide slope points to where it is, and it's currently above us, which means we're below it. We'll try and fly the glide slope in. In fact, we might even do an auto land. Flight director on. Oh, you've done it again. There goes the G&T all over the cockpit. Don't need to worry about throttle because doing a reasonably hard turn like this will bring the speed back. There's the runway. Probably a bit short in to do a auto land, but we'll see if the autopilot will do it. I'm looking for that green line to move in towards the centre, which means that we are on a line drawn out from the localizer at 270, so 270 radial, which is of course a line straight along the centre of the runway. Come on, Simon. What we'll do is we'll get roughly lined up, and then I'll flick the autopilot into approach hold. So that is now going to lock onto the glide slope and onto the localizer. Not got that far to go, so this might not catch it very well. Well, I'm not touching anything here, look. Just throttle. The gear warning. I had pressed the button. Yeah, see, it's oscillating about the line because I've not given it enough space. I'm going to knock that off. And what we'll do is we'll give it a bit more space next time. And we'll do an instrument approach, and then that'll be the last one we'll do, I think. Then I need to have a break. Bit of a crosswind here, so I'm going to need pedals. All red, you're dead. Alright though. Why is the rudder not working? Ah, I need to kill the yaw damper. Engines are spooled up, so we can pull back. Whoa, hello, don't scrape the wing on the floor. Gear up, flaps up one, and I'm going to take it straight away into a right hand turn. Yeah, I nearly got on the grass there though. And then flaps up. So we're breaking away a little bit early this time. I'll extend the downwind leg quite significantly so the autopilot's got a chance. Yeah, we've currently got an 18 knot crosswind, 1/8, is pretty challenging for any pilot, certainly very challenging for an autopilot. We'll need to give it lots of space to figure that out. Yeah. Easy mistake to make. But this aircraft warns you if you've got the flaps down, it starts bleeping at you to say that the gear's not down, I think. There we are, flying east. Zoom out, touch on the map here. There's Nottingham up on the left here. It's Nottingham. That's Long Eaton railway station, I think. Train yard there. Passing overhead the M1. The glide slope is below us at the moment. Eventually that we are going to cross through it. I'm going to keep the yaw damper off now because we need full authority on the rudder because of this crosswind. You can see the crosswind pushing us sideways. Sort of flying, you know, left a bit, going that way, not that way. There's Nottingham Airport, Tollerton. So we're going to intersect 2,500 would be nice actually, so I'll just climb up a smidge. Oh, that's really nice of you. Thank you. As you can tell, I don't have many subs, so I'm really glad that at least someone's enjoying it, eh? So, we're 8.6 miles out, as you can see there. Coming up to 9 miles, which is a pretty decent amount of time. And we're coming up on 2,500. Nick, thanks for the sub. Thank you, Nick. Cheers, Storm. That's really kind. Thank you. We're coming up on south here then. Yay. Notifications are working then. So there's south, so base, and we'll turn straight on to final, looking for that green line to move towards the centre, which means we're on the 270 radial into East Mids. I'm just going to knock the throttle back a smidge. And we'll go flat 1. Shouldn't really do that whilst we're turning, but oh, hello. Still not used to how aggressive that is. So I'm going to hand fly it onto the localizer, and then give the autopilot control. Saves it oscillating too much. He says, and then immediately hand flies it into an oscillation. So. Yeah, I've got X-Plane 10. I have done a few streams on that, but not many because I've got all my payware aircraft in here, really. He says flying a FSX default model. So autopilot is on. Approach mode is active. Go gear down, and we'll go flat 2. Gear warning, but 3 green now. we're quite low, so I'm just going to bring the nose up a bit. The autopilot is currently flying left-right, and I'm currently doing elevator, the pitch. Hoping to see that glide slope kick in. There it is. We're flying level. Glide slope's 3 degrees here. Could be about 600 feet a minute, really, if you're at the right speed and everything. Confidence in this autopilot, default autopilot, isn't huge, as you can probably tell. I'm just backing off the stick to give the autopilot the full authority. And there it goes. Oh, you can't do that. And it's not quite lined up here. That's annoying. Oh gosh. There's the runway. Panicking, just getting feet on the pedals. Get that nose down. And I don't think I've got the button set up for reverse thrust. No, I haven't. But it turns out we didn't need it. Wow, that was a... With the autopilot, that was the worst landing of the lot. Ironically. Flight director can come off. We'll vacate left here onto Mike. Mike, yeah. Try not to stop on the runway. Come on, keep rolling. Flaps away. Grab of the brake just to get us around the corner. And then let's go and park up on the apron here. As the Americans would call it, on the ramp. The brake just to help us around the corner. Oh, and there's a space right here. Nice. Another bit of decent parking there. Doesn't normally happen. My parking's normally atrocious. I think the nose is quite far ahead of us in this. Oh no, only a little bit. That's close enough for me. So brakes off, parking brake can go on. Oops, spoiler can go away. Ignitions can come off. Interestingly, doesn't cut the engine. Is the fuel cut off then? I don't want to do fire. Pumps are off. Rudder trim, don't want that. Might as well start the APU. How would you stop the engine? really. Oh no, it's not those. Well, I'm going to cheat and kill the mixture. And there we are. Apparently with the clamshells open. There we go. Down at Nottingham East Midlands. So, that was a bit of VFR flying. Shoreham up to Southend, doing a couple of transits of Gatwick. And then, by request, a bit of default Learjet flying, some circuits of East Mids. Oh, and we've just had London control come on. South and centre. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks, Storm, and you. Bye.